John, good to see you back. How are you feeling? Are you fit and ready for Qualifiers tomorrow?
I'm chomping at the bit. Probably the worst guy to be 10 days in the house, but managed to get through it. Fortunate that Villa dropped off a treadmill, so trying to stay as fit as possible and keeping my head right. So fine now, glad to be back with the boys and hope I can help it.
I think most Scotland fans were frustrated watching on in midweek. How frustrated were you by watching on not being able to impact the game?
It was tough for me to watch, mainly because I couldn't help the boys it. Never really enjoyed watching it. I always wanted to be involved, help playing, and obviously disappointed we didn't win, but we don't really have the time to reflect on it. It's a really quick turnaround. It was a quick turnaround from the boys playing games last weekend, and it's important for us now to try and get smiles back on faces and get a positive result, which we badly need.
You mentioned getting smiles back on faces. I think for the first time in Steve's reign, there seemed to be a real sort of dip in the mood in midweek after that result and the performance. Was that something you're aware of, and do you understand perhaps why people have maybe lost a little bit of belief?
No, I was meaning the boys. I had 5 hours to drive up, so I wasn't realising what was being said or taking into account. I was talking about getting smile back in the players' faces, but it doesn't take long when you've got a job in hand. Saturday it comes quick, and we're professionals. We're used to dealing with criticism if things don't go well, and it's a results driven business, and when we don't win we'll get criticised. That's just not natural and normal, so we're all used to it. You develop a thick skin, but it certainly makes victories sweeter and you enjoy them a lot more. So hopefully over 35,000 at Hampden, going to be our highest crowd in over 2 years, so we're all really looking forward to it, and it's a bit us going and getting the 3 points and entertaining at the same time if we can.
Finally for me, is the focus now, does it have to be on the fact that second is still very much attainable? I think some people get a bit despondent and look at the table and go, can't catch Denmark, but being realistic, second is perhaps always the main target and an achievable target, one that's still within reach.
Yeah, we definitely need to be realistic. It's going to be very tough to catch Denmark. They're a top side, and they proved it the other night, very streetwise, and the way they handled the game is something we can probably learn from. So that's maybe a little bit out of reach. We'll not give up trying to get there, but it would take a bit of a miracle for Denmark not to finish top. So 3 teams now battling out for second, and it's up to us to get the results to get us there. Home game tomorrow, Israel and Austria play against each other, so something's got to give there, and we've just got to take it each game as it comes and start getting wins again and make sure we get that second spot.
John, when defeats come, how heavily do they weigh on the players?
You always want it when you play for Scotland. You want to win every game. That's just natural. I think initially I've not seen any reaction, but I think the initial reaction from everyone will just be disappointment, and sometimes that will come in the way of criticism, but it doesn't weigh on the players. It's the same, like I just mentioned before, you do get used to just blanking it out. You need to be professional, focus on the next job in hand, and if you allow it to weigh on yourself, then you're not going to play to your best on the Saturday. So we've quickly forgotten about it. We've not really had time to reflect. You've only got 2 days to work in Moldova, so it's in the past. Not to say we're happy with the result, definitely not, but we have had to focus on Moldova and just worry about that and make sure we get back into winning ways.
Moldova as a team in the last year have played 13 games, they've only had 1 victory against Azerbaijan, they've only scored 4 goals. Anything other than a win tomorrow is surely unthinkable.
Yeah, well, we want to win. It's international football these days. What we've learned is it's never easy, but in games where we expect to win at home, recently we've dealt with them pretty well. We've scored early, and that's an important thing. We need to get an early goal if we can. But we respect Moldova. Luckily the other night, the only good thing about not being able to be involved was I did catch bits of Moldova-Austria, and towards the end they had chances to get a point. They were tired towards the end, but they were still in the game right to the 93rd minute, so they're definitely no mugs, and they'll relish the atmosphere at Hampden tomorrow, so it's up to us to try and get an early goal and show the supporters what we can do.
You mentioned the fans, 35,000, did you say, plus tomorrow night. Will they have to be patient?
Maybe Moldova will come and be hard to beat. They'll try and frustrate us, but like I said there, in previous years we've dealt with these games where you're expected to win very well. We've scored early and built on that, so it's important we do the same. But if it does take to the 85th minute to get the goal, then the 3 points is all that matters at the end of the day.
And when obviously you were part of the squad for the Euros in the summer, to keep alive any hopes really of going to Qatar next year, you've got to try and get some victories from somewhere, haven't you?
No, we have belief, but it's easy for me to sit there and say all the right things. It's just important for us to start doing it on the park. I think everyone knows the ability we've got in the squad, so I don't need to harp on about it. And we're still capable. We went the hard way to the Euros in the summer. We wanted to do it the easy way, but it doesn't always work like that. So we've given ourselves an uphill task to finish first, but second's definitely well within reach. And certainly Saturday is one we need to go and get 3 points, and then we'll take it from there.
Scotland tend to do things the hard way, don't they?
Aye, no, we did. The last time we've got a chance Saturday to get back to winning ways, and then Tuesday, we all know what Tuesday is, but we'll just take that when it comes.
Thank you.
John, when you get back out on the training pitch after the Denmark game, with all that time sort of stuck in the house having to do your own work, if you had to do anything differently getting back out and training, whether it's ease yourself in or maybe do extra work? No, I've really done full training. We've got all the stats and technology to see if I'm alright, see if I'm going to keel over, and thankfully never. My heart rate was a wee bit high yesterday, but the staff are all aware of it, and I'm feeling good. I was feeling, I mentioned a couple of times in interviews for Villa, the fittest I've ever been, so it's came at a little bit of an awkward time for me, but it's a good chance for me to get back involved and see how long I last tomorrow if I get the nod. I suppose that frustration of missing games for Villa and missing the Scotland game will just make sure you're ticking over as much as possible and doing all the work you need to do while you're isolating to keep your peak fitness. Yeah, well, if it was maybe 3-4 years ago, I would have been Deliveroo every night. I'd maybe order a wee can of Tennent's at the same time, but you just can't do that these days. It's so important, especially when you've worked so hard over the summer to try and get in good nick. You just can't afford it. You just get left behind. So I've managed to do what I can. It wasn't ideal running on the treadmill, but it's what you need to do, and I think it's a reminder for everyone these days that the virus is still there, and we still need to prepare and protect ourselves. So it's got me. Thankfully, I had no symptoms and felt fine, but it's a reminder of what we're living through, and hopefully it'll be the last time for a while I can isolate for 10 days.
John, you scored a flurry of goals yourself to the national team a year or so ago, but right now they're struggling for goals, struggling for chances. Why do you think that is? And do you think this is the perfect game to get back on track, score a few?
Yeah, well, we didn't create enough chances in the game the other night, but we were up against the top seed, who played better than us, like the manager and the players I've mentioned. So chances were limited, but tomorrow night we'll get chances, and it's up to players like myself, the strikers who are all in good form for their clubs, Nizzy, Shea, Linden especially, on great form for QPR. So there's goals in there, and it's just about us being clinical and getting goals again. I think we're more than capable of getting those goals, and hopefully I can have another flurry as well.